DeSantis, I'm going to direct this next question to you. On live TV in August, on the first day of the general election campaign, you said of Andrew Gillum's run for governor, quote, "The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by embracing a socialist agenda." Fox News quickly disavowed your words, saying, quote, "They do not condone the language." Now, you called some of this response absurd. You've made appearances at 4 of David Horowitz's Freedom Center events. Again, 4 separate times, 4 speeches. Among some of Mr. Horowitz's statements, quoting here, "This country's only serious race war is against whites." You know, I'll ask the questions. Okay. It's not a McCarthy game, and I'm giving. Yeah. Wait for the question, okay. Sir.
Okay.
He also said, if blacks are oppressed in America, why isn't there a black exodus? Now, in 2015, in your speech before the Freedom Center, you said of Mr. Horowitz, "David has done such a great work, and I've been an admirer. I've been to these conferences in the past, and I've been a big admirer of an organization that shoots straight, tells the American people the truth, and is standing up for the right thing." Those are his words. Here's my question.
He had not even made those statements then.
Yes, he had, sir. The first statement was made many years ago.
I mean, how the hell am I supposed to know every single statement somebody makes? Here's the deal. Let me just say this straight up. You know, I've lived my life, whether it's athletics, whether it's military, whether it's serving as a prosecutor. You know, when I was downrange in Iraq, we worked together as a team regardless of race. We had the American flag on our arm. We wore the same uniform, and we fought for the country. When I was a prosecutor, I stood up for victims of every race, color, and creed. That's the only way to do it in our country. It's something I believe in, and as governor, I will represent all the people. Everyone will get a fair shake. But I am not going to bow down to the altar of political correctness. I'm going to not let the media smear me like they like to do with so many other people.
Sir,
I'm certainly not going to take anything from Andrew Gillum, who's endorsed the Dream Defenders, which says Israel is an apartheid state, and which says the police and prisons have no place in justice.
Mr. Gillum, wait for the applause. And Mr. DeSantis, I'll point out, I wish you would have waited for the question, because I had a question and it's not what you think it is. Mr. Gillum, I'll give you a chance to respond now.
Well, let me first say, my grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler, and it hollered through this room. Mr. DeSantis has spoken. First of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in this state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, Nigger. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up.
He's using a bullhorn. People don't even use dog whistles anymore. This is the party of Trump.
What's being reported, DeSantis is an administrator on a Facebook page that pushes racist and deep state conspiracy theories.
The congressman spoke 4 times at conferences organized by a conservative activist who says African Americans owe their freedom to white people.
What an honor it's been to be here to speak. David has done such great work, and I've been a big admirer of an organization that shoots straight, tells the American people the truth.
This silly PC stuff has got to stop.
Real quick, before we get into this, I would like to read some key information courtesy of MTOnews.com. I will leave the link to this article in the description box. While Gillum received 92% of the vote from black men, he only received 82% of the vote of black women. And surprisingly, DeSantis, who ran a campaign that many are calling racist, received nearly 20% of the black female vote. Gillum lost the election by about 50,000 votes. MTO News did the calculation and confirmed that if black women voted for Gillum at the same rate as black men, Gillum would have won. Now, what I'm having a hard time trying to understand is how did DeSantis get 18% of the black women vote in Florida? How did that happen? How did 18% of black American women vote for a guy who is buddy-buddy with white extremists? Can someone answer that in the comment section? Now, I understand that historically Republicans have always did well in Florida. So trying to turn that state red to blue, you have your work cut out for you. So I'm not surprised he won. Now, according to MTO News, if 18% of those black women had voted for Gillum, he would have won. Now, I'm no Democrat nor a Republican, so I'm just reporting to you. So please don't come to the comment section saying, well, no party's better than the other one, because I don't support neither. But what was it about Gillum that black women in the state of Florida did not like, did not want to vote for him? Because we know black American women are Democrats. Why did 18% of black women in Florida voted for a Republican? And Andrew Gillum has a black wife. And he has a black wife. He didn't go out and get a white woman, a Becky. He has a black wife. So what went wrong? Now, I understand that race politics is a huge strategy the Democrats use during election time. So what's going on with DeSantis, they didn't need to, because he was already in hot water. I wouldn't have voted for him. Now, what are his policies? Maybe they're looking past his character, saying, hey, I don't care if he's a racist. He's a KKK. He has some policies I support, I back, similar to black Americans supporting Trump, many would argue. How did the majority of black men come out in favor of him and 18% of the women? Now, is it because 18% of these women hate the Democrat Party so much they said, listen, I'm going to vote for this suspected white supremacist? Oh, he have said some things, monkeying around, monkeying things up. And then he lies and says, oh, no, he didn't make that statement. And then the gentleman who was asking him the question saying, well, no, he did say it. Then he turns around and says, oh, meaning DeSantis turns around and says, oh, well, how am I supposed to know what he said? Why is the media trying to? No. You're taking up for a white supremacist. You're taking up for a white supremacist. The far right backs him. He's endorsed by the far right and white nationalists. And this is an issue some people have, some black people have with black Trump supporters. Some black people want to know, hey, how are you supporting someone who is backed by white nationalists? But I find it very, very interesting that 18% of black women in the state of Florida refuse to vote Democrats when historically that's what they do. Andrew Gillum even had Barack Obama coming out, stomping for him, coming out for him. He had all the, who else? I believe Oprah was behind him, but she didn't stomp for him. She stomped for Stacy Abrams, which we'll get into in a bit. That mammy. But that star power doesn't work anymore. People want policy. People want change. Immigration is playing a huge role and is playing into the Republicans' hands. You can't have people marching to your borders demanding to be let in. And salute to all the black Americans who sat out and didn't vote. If you sat out this election, salute to you. If you went out and voted, salute to you also. What I found the most interesting out of this whole situation is Miss Abrams, this mammy, this overweight mammy. She had Barack Hussein Obama. She had Oprah Winfrey. She had a star-studded coming out party. Georgia is a state that has always been, for a while at least, red. So trying to turn it blue, they had their work cut out for them also. But she's like, no, we do not accept Kemp's declaring himself the winner in Georgia. We do not accept that. I should have won. I'm the winner. I don't care what anyone says. Kind of like a dictatorship. I should have won. I'm going to take over anyway. And she pushed that race politics. It did help a little bit. She barely lost. She didn't even lose by 1 million votes. These races are tight. And she's going to have to go back to the drawing board again. She had a huge black woman turnout. I do believe 95% of black women in the state of Georgia voted for her. So they came out for her in Florida, but they didn't come out for that Democrat brother, which I don't agree with Democrats, the liberal policy, any of that. But I see how they are Democrats at heart, but depending on the gender is who they'll stand behind, which says a lot about black people, black American people. That there is a huge percentage of black Americans that want to keep the woman in charge. They don't want male authority. If they get male authority, if they have to have male authority, they rather it be a KKK member, a Grand Wizard, pretty much, because they voting for these KKK members, these KKK sympathizers. These white men who are being endorsed by white nationalists, and they're not saying, "Hey, don't endorse me." They're like, "Thank you," accepting donations, going to speak at Klan rallies. She was getting ready to all the illegals, come on in, open those borders. You are going to vote for me. That's why she didn't want people to have to show their ID to vote. She just wanted people to be able to vote, because if that happens, that gives her a leg up. She can get people that aren't supposed to vote for her, or people that stolen deceased people IDs and social security numbers and voting with, pretty much a dead person's fingerprint or signature. You have this mule, this mammy, this big mouth, poor sport mammy, wanting to be the grand emperor of Georgia. Oh, she was going to run that place. Oh, black men in the state of Georgia, you should be happy, sleeping well, sleeping like a baby tonight, thanking the voters. They did not let Stacy Abrams in. She was going to crack the whip on you. Oh, she was going to get you brothers in line in Georgia. Oh, Mammy was going to do everything Massa told her to do. Yeah, she got a vision for Georgia, all right, yeah. And there's articles on social media, many of them stating that Stacey Abrams refuses to concede Georgia's governor's race. So she's refusing to, like, hey, no, I didn't lose. Oh, well, even though he has more votes than me, I still didn't lose. Wow. What a human being. And I'm glad that you graduated from a top college and everything. Oh, speaking of colleges, Andrew Gillum, he went to an all-black university also. You would think that would be applauded, but nah, because there is a huge percentage of black Americans who don't want black male leadership. They rather be led by a KKK member. I wanted to also talk about this wave of black American women who were elected in Tennessee, Shelby County, the same county the city of Memphis is in. And salute to all 9 of those sisters, okay? But I think what Black Americans do when they vote or they see people as a authority figure, maybe you're a politician or even a community organizer, whatever. And we're caught up on their skin color, meaning, wow, these are the first Black women to do it. Just like Stacy Abrams, I think what helped her a lot was she was the first Black woman versus her liberal policy because she is a ultra liberal. So my question to the people that voted for these 9 women, did you vote for them because of their skin color, they were Black women, or their policy? They are a public servant, so they're helping you and your community out. What are their policies that you backed? And when you ask Black people that, they can't tell you. And this is my problem, because we're going to go over some raw numbers right now in the county of Shelby. Now, population estimates of July 1st of 2017, roughly over 900,000 people populate that county. Now, 400,000, almost 500,000 of those residents are Black Americans, okay? 54.1% of Shelby County residents are Black Americans. So they're more than half of the population there. They're more than half, more than even whites. 6.4% are Hispanics. Now, in Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, 2016 poverty rate for Blacks was 26.3%. That's high. And the governor is a Democrat. He's Jim Strickland. And he also said that the homicide rate is not our problem. It's Black Americans' problem. So he's and he's a Democrat, and he said that. Okay, so even though these women are elected officials, their boss is still white daddy who thinks like that. So are these women elected coming to help you out, or are they the gatekeepers to white supremacy? In the city of Memphis, 32.3% of Blacks are living in poverty. That's horrible. Those people need dental, vision, healthcare. They need to be working. Why aren't there any jobs in Memphis? In the city where Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, blown away. Fast forward to today, you have poverty levels that are staggering. Wow. I guess his dream didn't come true. Or maybe it did. But that should be the last Black city in America that should be having any job issues. So what those 9 women need to do is stand up to white supremacy, okay? Not just say, hey, we got a job because we're Black women and we had it so hard. Oh, Lord. No. Change. Listen, gather resources. That's what your people need in that city, resources. Okay? Do your job. This is not a time to be praising you for doing something that you should be doing. It's like you hear a guy, he says, hey, I take care of my kids. Brother, they're your kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids. What, you want a cookie? And I understand that Memphis is the South. Is Memphis considered the deep South? So I understand that the way of thinking and living is different. I understand that there is Confederate flags and statues and things like that. So if you are serious about stopping white supremacy and building, while you are in those positions of power, gather resources for your people. Right now, like yesterday. I'm out. Peace.